Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Games of the Glory Days. I am your host, Johnny Blitz, back into doing video game videos. And today we're going to be talking about my opinion on the top 10 worst video game movies of all time. I mean, there's a lot of video game movies, and a lot of them are bad. There's very few, in my opinion, very good or good at all video game movies. There are some bad ones that I do enjoy to watch, but they are bad. So we're going to start the list off with 10, the Angry Birds movie. I watched this with a younger cousin. He wanted to hang out and was just staying the night at my house. And we were just hanging out and we watched this because he said it was good. And I was miserable the whole time, but just to make him happy, watched it. It's terrible. I mean, making a movie... apologize. Off of a video game that you play on your cell phone is terrible in its own, but yeah, it's just not good. I was barely paying attention. It was just terrible. Making like a quest and it just was not good in the slightest. Number 9, a lot of people like this movie. I didn't. I think it was stupid to make a movie off of this video game, and it's Rampage. I am a huge wrestling fan. I was a huge fan of The Rock when I was a kid, getting sick of him now in his movies because he basically plays the same character in all of them. Yeah, Rampage. This is a game, side-scrolling, beat 'em up, smashing down buildings, no dialogue, just playing as giant creatures, eating people, knocking down planes and helicopters and smashing buildings. Really didn't have a story. I'm not going to go much into this. The relationship between The Rock and the giant monkey in this giant gorilla in this is beyond whatever. Yes, they do have human characteristics and they do feel the way a human does because there's very much stories about this, but it's just god awful. Number 8, making a movie off of a fighting game is terrible. Every one of them that I've watched has been god awful. And this is Mortal Kombat. The new one, the old ones, I didn't care for them. Well, the new one's better than the old ones, absolutely. I do enjoy to watch the old ones because Jean-Claude Van Damme and a couple other actors are in this that it just makes it fun to watch, but they're terrible. Number 7 is one of my favorite video game series of all time, a terrible movie, and we're talking about Doom. Again, The Rock. Terrible character in this movie. Terrible. They showed, they tried to do cool little things and add, the style of gameplay with the fast pace into the movie with the chainsaw and the shotgun. It just wasn't good. The character is in this were just whatever, and the relationships between the characters were god awful as well. Just not good. Number 5, we have Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. Prince of Persia is one of my favorite video games of all time. I love the puzzle, the wall running, the running up walls, the sliding down the tapestries with your knife, rewinding time. I love Sands of Time. I love The Warrior Within. I love The Two Thrones. There's a couple of the Forgotten Sands. There's one that's watercolored for the Xbox 360. I enjoyed that as well. I haven't played the new one yet. Going to. Sorry guys, I work very early shifts now. I get up every day at 3 a.m. so I apologize for all the yawning. But yeah, this movie, I went to see it in the movie theaters and I got halfway through and I said, fuck this, I'm out. Because it was that bad. And the next movie I went to see on a date, and this is Max Payne. Another one of my favorite PlayStation games. I love Max Payne 1. I love Max Payne 2. I did not like Max Payne 3 as much as I liked the other two, but I enjoyed it. Mark Wahlberg is a great actor, but I don't think he was the person to pick to play Max Payne. the and they left out one of the most important characters. I don't know if they ever made a second one. They probably did. I just hated the first one so much that I didn't even care about watching the second one. So they left out the love interest. Now I skipped over 6 or whatever. We'll put the original Super Mario Brothers movie right above Prince of Persia. And this is just a terrible movie. I loved watching this as a kid. Me and my friend used to watch it all the time. John Leguizamo is in this. He plays Luigi. But it's an absolutely terrible movie. They made Bowser a human, and they called him Koopa. And the Goombas were giant guys who were tiny little creatures in the video game. It just was terrible. It wasn't great. Big Bertha they made just a big crappy character who was supposed to be who was a fish in the video game. I understand that, they really didn't have the animation or whatever in this game, but they could have waited to make this movie years and years and years later like they did recently. But terrible. And now we're at number 3. I didn't even say the number, so I apologize, guy. The Resident Evil movies. So all these Resident Evil movies, starting from the Djokovic ones, terrible. The animated ones are absolutely amazing, most of them. I haven't seen all of them yet, but the ones that I've watched I thoroughly enjoyed. And then we'll get to my least favorite Resident Evil movie, Operation Raccoon City, which was supposed to be like, oh, this is going to be the best Resident Evil movie ever made. We used actual locations, we used the personalities of the characters. No, you guys didn't. The show Resident Evil was god-awful, all the ones that they made for that too. The only good Resident Evil movies they can make are animated ones, so stick to it. Were the locations correct and the character names? Yes. Were the characters, personalities, good in Operation Raccoon City? No. And I struggled to get through this, but being a huge Resident Evil fan, I did it. It was just god-awful. Just awful. And at number 2, we have one of the biggest pieces of shit movies I've ever seen in my life. I seen this in high school in the year 2005, and this is Alone in the Dark. I've never played the video game. I didn't even know it was a video game until after watching the movie. But the video game looks pretty cool from what I've seen. But terrible, terrible movie. Did not know anything that was going on. It went back and forth way too many times. It was literally falling asleep again. I went to see this with the date and she didn't want to leave. So I sat there and suffered through this. And number 1. And this is a god-awful movie based off of one of my favorite arcade games, and this is House of the Dead. And now why I put this at number 1 is they used clips of the video game in this movie. They made a villain who was this ultra crazy zombie guy, and he had these crazy superpowers. But how do you make a movie off of a shooting game where it's just a shoot 'em up, a light gun shoot 'em up game? You don't have many characters in the video game to begin with. Most of the characters die that you meet in the arcade game. If not all of them die. It's just fucking terrible. I mean, why they have so many presences. Resident Evil could have been a great movie, and they tried and they tried and tried again. How about sit down, talk to huge fans? They'll tell you the actors you need to pick to play the characters. And we can make a good Resident Evil movie, but just not with Hollywood. Hollywood has no idea of what making a good video game movie is. There's been, in my opinion, I think maybe out of all the video game movies that I've seen, maybe 5, 6 that I thought were good, and maybe another 2 or 3 that I thought were decent. Again, animated, I don't really count because it's animated or CGI. Just come on, Hollywood, think of ideas. And just don't make any more video game movies, we're asking you, please. Thank you guys for watching. I posted a video saying if we get to 200 subscribers by this Saturday, the 16th, not the 16th, the 10th, I'm sorry, the 10th, that I would give away Blitz's food review shirt. And unfortunately, we haven't gotten there yet, but I still have hope in you guys, putting my faith with you guys that we can get there. Sorry that it's been an accident, just been dealing with work and some personal drama that's absolutely, completely BS, which shouldn't be limiting me to do these videos, but it's just been like dealing with this crap. I don't feel like sitting in front of a camera. But I love doing this, guys. I gotta start getting back into doing Let's Plays on my PlayStation. It's just nothing's being released because I still have old gen. But I make the best of it. So I can go ahead and play old games. And you guys like to watch it anyway. You guys loved when I played Aliens Isolation. Okay. That was crazy. My jaw is totally locked up. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.